What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Torrent Podcast. I'm your host, Nick, alongside co-hosts Alan and Matt. Guys, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How's it going, man? So, question. What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie? Because I just got, like, 3 different flavors.
Oh, my God.
And I have trouble even choosing between those 3.
Man.
Have we talked about this?
I don't think
Have
so.
we?
Not on the cast.
I thought we had, but okay.
Oh, we'll have to go back and look. Maybe I did.
I don't remember.
Maybe, like, last year on Girl Scout cookie time I brought this up.
I would, you know what? Are they what are the Thin Mints? Are they called Thin Mints or something else?
Yeah, got some right here, actually.
Okay, Thin Mints. I think those got to be pretty solid ones. The peanut butter ones are pretty good, too.
What I've heard about Thin Mints is that, like, they actually put, like, a little bit of crack in them, and that's why they taste so good.
Oh, really? Some cocaine?
I think they actually are
Some of
just
the-
crack, though.
The devil's dandruff, as they say?
Yeah.
The devil's dandruff. Not familiar with that term. I like it.
Did you know there's like multiple factories, and depending on what part of the country you live in, you get different cookies, and they're called something different? Like,
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that online or something, that
Yeah.
they have different names based on where you buy them from.
Yep.
Like Savannah Smiles or like something different or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
Is that because didn't they used to be called peanut butter patties?
I don't remember all the names.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tagalongs? Is that?
Tagalongs and peanut butter patties. That might be it.
I thought they used to be called that, but
Yeah, they still are. I guess it depends on what troop you order it from and where they get their what bakery they get it from.
I think trefoils are my favorite. The shortbread ones, those are so good.
Shortbread,
Ew,
huh? Mm.
what?
You don't like shortbread?
Shortbread?
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a little boring for me.
Yeah, no
Needs
one
some,
likes
needs some flavor.
Because I just have simple taste, whatever.
You know who wasn't a Girl Scout, and that was Captain Marvel.
Good segue.
Wait, we're gonna go back and watch because I think she might have been a Girl Scout one of those flashbacks.
Oh, that's a good point. Anyway, so guys, we saw Marvel's latest entry in their what I will call a 10-year TV show, and that was Captain Marvel. So before we jump into it, I just want to remind everybody that this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the movie, we will be talking spoilers. And if you don't want to be spoiled, then please shut this off, go see the movie, and then come back and listen to our review. So, guys, Captain Marvel. We got a big lead up to Avengers Endgame, which comes out next month. And so this was their opportunity to introduce one more new character before this new movie. So let's start off by just giving some of our overall thoughts about the movie in general. Just speak general terms right now. We'll dive into some of the more finer details later. But just overall, what did you guys think of the movie?
Okay. So at first I wasn't really into it. For some reason I wasn't invested. I think I was still kind of tired because I saw it early on like Saturday or something. So I just wasn't really invested, and it wasn't until maybe halfway through or so where I was kind of like, okay, now I'm a little intrigued. I'm still on board with what's happening, and then I really started to like it. So can I get into like specifics of what I liked now, or are we waiting for that?
Well, we'll get into some of the specifics a little later. Just give me.
Okay.
I just wanted kind of your overall stuff.
Dialogue was pretty cool. Story was pretty cool. Action, like everything, I thought was just like pretty okay, like pretty good.
Okay.
Like I would have rated everything as like pretty good. Yeah, the action was cool. The dialogue was fine, I thought. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I will rate it overall so far.
Alan?
I thought on average it was a pretty good movie. I thought the plot line was a little bit obvious, like when her mentor dude was like, "You gotta not think about your past stuff and whatever." I was like, "This is the bad guy right here." I called it like right away.
What?
Because it was just like, yeah, like don't bring up stuff from your past and like just focus on the future. It's like, yeah, that's kind of a little bit like mislead, or like something else is going on here. But other than that, I thought the storyline was just fine, like was really fine and interesting. I did pull like a Rogue One, and I fell asleep like a little bit in the middle of it. But I woke up and realized I didn't really miss much. So I think there was a little bit of like
Yeah,
I think there's a little bit of dead area in there.
Yeah.
That I kind of didn't really need to watch. It was probably only for like 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully. But I did really like just love the characters in this. I think Marvel always does a really good job of just making the characters feel really like real and authentic. And I just see such a stark difference between this movie and Aquaman, and just the acting and the character progression alone. I just thought it just felt so much more natural and so much more polished. So I enjoyed that the most out of this one.
This movie was decent for me. It wasn't great. I think it's one of the lower tiered Marvel movies if you look at them at a whole. I thought, if you compare it to like a Black Panther or Infinity War, I mean, it really doesn't hold up for me. I thought some of the tie-ins to the overall universe, the MCU, they retconned a little too hard, and it doesn't quite fit in unless they have a long-term plan for some things we'll talk about later, kind of in our, what happens after Captain Marvel. But I realized I really liked seeing Nick Fury again and having S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the picture and kind of getting that spy, that government conspiracy kind of thing back in the MCU. And I thought, Brie Larson's performance was just okay to me. It seems like a lot of people, either I've seen on the internet, a lot of people hate her or they love her. I'm kind of right in the middle. I just thought her performance was okay. She's a great actress, an Oscar-winning actress. But I think in this role, in this movie specifically, I just thought she was fine. It wasn't great, wasn't a standout. Who I did think was a standout, and I will see what you guys think about this, was Ben Mendelsohn's character who played Talos, which was the lead Skrull. I thought he stole the show. I thought his arc, his progression through the movie was the best out of all the characters. And it was cool to see that little twist. And he was funny, too. He was witty. I mean, and not that Brie Larson wasn't, because she had some couple good one-liners. But just I really enjoyed Ben Mendelsohn's character thoroughly in this movie.
Going back to the Brie Larson thing, was it her acting that you didn't like, or was it just the character that she was portraying that you didn't like? Was it like her fault, or was it like the script fault?
I don't know. It could be the script, or she chose to play the character a little too stiff. Because I know she was supposed to be kind of like a military person with a military background. So I don't know if she was trying to play up that rigidness but like still kind of shot some snarky comments out. She kind of started off pretty good, I thought, with she's like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a female Tony Stark kind of character, kind of a sassier character, kind of talk back. But for me, it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really work as well as I was hoping it would for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Nick, about her performance. I think she did. I think it was the script, though. I guess you kind of agreed with that, but
yeah,
I she's confused about her past, so she plays like this aloof character who is just kind of like unsure of what's going on, and like you said, like military, like really stiff, and just I think that was the right way to play it. I didn't specifically notice while watching that, like, I thought she wasn't doing great. I just thought like that's the way her character would be, and that's
and I'm not saying she like mailed in the performance or whatever, but I think a lot of people just played it as like oh, this is just another ordinary superhero movie, as opposed to, hey, this is the movie, this is one of our bigger characters that are coming out in a post Avengers Infinity War world. I would have thought they would have maybe made the, I don't know, the energy of the movie, the the seriousness of the movie a little more along the lines of like an Infinity War, as opposed to kind of a more of a lighthearted introduction to the character. I don't know. I guess I might have been expecting something different, and I guess I'm just trying to still process it and kind of accept it. Maybe upon second watch, I'll like the movie a lot more. But for me, like I said off the top, it was just okay.
Yeah, I think if you went into it with like lower expectations, where you're not really comparing it to like some of the other stuff that Marvel's done, I think it was a pretty solid movie all around. Just one of those things where it's got a lot of giants around it that you have to kind of look over. So
okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper, and we can talk about stuff we liked, specifically stuff we didn't like in a more specific manner in terms of the plot and characters and stuff like that. So in the beginning of the movie, we kind of get introduced to Veers, Brie Larson's characters. We meet everyone from the Star Force, I think they're called, on Hala, the Kree space warriors, whatever you want to call them. So you get all that crew, and they go on a mission and they take out or they try to rescue one of their agents, and then they get ambushed by Skrulls, and Brie Larson's character, Captain Marvel, essentially gets captured by the Skrulls, and she escapes on the ship and then crash lands to Earth. So what did you guys think about that kind of opening sequence to the movie, kind of the introduction to the character, all the players that were set up? What did you guys think of that?
I think they did a good job with that, because the action started off pretty quick. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the first scene, she's fighting Jude Law. And,
they're like training, right? She wakes him up. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. And then their mission, I thought that was pretty sweet. I thought it was all tactical and kind of XCOM-ish, and I thought that was very cool. Thinking back to that scene, knowing the twist in the movie is really interesting to me. I think that's very cool. So
yeah,
I liked it. I liked the intro, and I liked the background kind of.
Yeah, and if you noticed, one of the members on the Star Force was Jaimin Hansu, who his character is called Korath. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was one of Ronan's men in Guardians of the Galaxy. So we kind of have the connectivity there. Of back in the early '90s, that character was on Star Force as a Kree warrior. Somewhere along the line, he gets more radical, more fanatic Kree, and he sides with kind of Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. So. There you go.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good Easter egg.
Yeah. Alan?
I kind of disagree with Matt. I actually didn't really like the plot in the beginning. I kind of mentioned it before. I thought it was a little bit obvious what was going on, and that Jude Law's character was clearly like going to be like some kind of bad guy. But I don't know if that was just like,
okay,
I happened to catch it early or something. I don't know. But I just remember thinking that from the start and just being like, all right, let's like get on with what's going to happen in the twist, and then like let's get into some character exposition. But I did really like the action, like you were saying. It was very kind of high techy, and there's some cool little things where they could see who the real Skrulls were and stuff, and they had like little sensors, and then they'd like turn to their friend, and their friend would be like, hey, like we need to get you over here, and then all of a sudden they turn to a Skrull and like try and kill him and stuff. Like that was kind of like a cool little combat scene. But I thought the story in that part was actually more boring, and then it got better as it went on. So
I think I'm with Matt on this one. I think I enjoyed the opening. I liked her being on the team. I liked seeing them like the masks click on in the combat, and then like zipping through and infiltrating the area. I thought that part was pretty cool. I think that gives you like a space opera kind of Star Trek, Star Wars kind of vibe, which I really dug. So anyway, to continue on, she crash lands to Earth, and then she meets our boy Sam Jackson, digitally de-aged Sam Jackson, along with Agent Coulson, because it is set in the 90s. So I don't know if you guys realize that, but they did de-age Sam Jackson quite a bit in this this make him look younger.
I thought he looked really good. Yeah, I was like, damn, Sam, you've been working out or some shit.
Even from
some Botox.
Yeah. Even from going back to Rogue One, where they digitally placed Tarkin from Rogue One. Now that you can see that technology has gotten even better in Captain Marvel, and Sam Jackson looked fantastic. I think it's how he moved and stuff. You can still tell he's a 70-year-old dude or whatever, but facially he looked super young, which was awesome. So she crash lands to Earth. She lands we get a bunch of 90s callbacks. She lands in a blockbuster. She blasts off Arnold Schwarzenegger's head, which was a poster from True Lies. She steals a motorcycle and has a 9 Inch Nails shirt on. So and then it becomes essentially they try to infiltrate that base to try to find out what happens to her. So go ahead, take it from here.
I was just gonna say I love the 90s setting.
Yeah,
love the grunge, loved the soundtrack, love the flannel tied around the waist.
Yeah,
everything about that I was like, yeah. So that was probably one of my biggest highlights of the movie, was just like the environment and like the atmosphere.
Okay,
like 9 Inch Nails shirt.
Yeah,
I don't love 9 Inch Nails, but I like
just that time
reference.
Well, we grew up in the 90s, so it's kind of like we finally get our they've done a lot of 80s throwbacks movies. Now we're finally at the point where we start getting 90s throwback movies. Now we get to revel in all the the meat of that kind of all the nostalgia for the 90s. You know what I mean?
Which is weird. It's
I
weird that
know.
90s is throwback now.
I know it's so.
Gosh. I asked some high schoolers on my swim team this past summer
Yeah.
if they knew Third Eye Blind, and they're like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, oh, you know the song. And I played the song, and they're like, I don't think I've ever heard that song. I was like, yes, you have. Shut up.
That's brutal.
Yeah, so that is scary. But I guess there's a good time for movies now where that'll be a throwback. So.
Yeah. So anyway, any parts stand out to you in that whole time period of the film so far, from her crash landing on Earth to her her and Sam Jackson kind of infiltrating the base? We got the train sequence. We got the
Which
Agent-
Stan Lee made a cameo in, right? In the train sequence?
Yeah, he did. That's right. And
I wonder if that could that be his last one, you think? Or do you think there's more?
I think he might have filmed the one for Endgame. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
That'd be kind of fitting, actually, oddly enough.
Oh yeah, that would be. But speaking
makes
of Stan
sense.
Lee, what'd you guys think of the big tribute they gave in the beginning? They
Oh, I
changed the
love
whole-
that. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I was really impressed they did that, and just thought it was a really sweet little tribute to him. So
Yeah,
Yes, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. And yes, totally agree. It was great.
didn't they have like his face like as the different superhero characters or something like that? Or am I remembering it wrong?
they just cut the normal intro where all the heroes would be, and they just made it like clips of Stan Lee in all the movies, essentially.
Oh yeah, he was in the movie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
him
yeah.
playing the movies. That's what it was.
And even his cameo in the movie was an Easter egg. I mean, it starts to get really meta because he was reading a script from the movie Mallrats, where Stan Lee plays himself in the movie. So it's like you're in the 90s and Stan Lee is practicing his part for the movie Mallrats as Stan Lee. And then you start to get this, but then if you think about it, you start to get this weird thing like, wait, if Stan Lee is really in existence in the world of Avengers, then does then it starts to get weird.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what happens in that universe?
A wormhole almost.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's really funny. Paradox.
Yeah, it is kind of it starts to get real trippy at that point. But
So kind of going back to what you're saying about this part of the movie, this is the part of the movie that I was least interested in. This is where I started to think it got kind of slow and I got kind of disengaged.
yeah,
I know it kind of parts of it had to happen to discover her past and stuff, but I was
Yeah.
just kind of like, even when Nick Fury calls the people and they come, like whatever his boss's name is comes and he's actually a Skrull.
yeah,
Even that part, I was kind of like, meh, not really super into this. So
yeah.
that I thought was the slowest part of the movie.
We also got introduced to the Goose, the cat. Now, it seems like audiences are kind of split. I think the consensus is that Cat is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going against the grain here and saying I thought it was dumb. Like I
What?
did not. I'm not a cat guy. It has nothing to do with me not being a cat guy. But I just
Okay, Nick.
I thought it was overhyped and kind of dumb, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't connect
Well,
with it.
I think you're kind of dumb because the cat was great.
So they break into the Pegasus base. They kind of find out that Carol was a pilot for Pegasus, and that the only person who knows really what happened since Lawson is dead is her friend her fellow pilot Maria Rambeau. So they end up going to see Maria, and we kind of get the full story, the full backstory of what happened there. She starts to they have a little reunion, and then we meet Talos shows up, and then we end up getting the full story. So what did you guys think of this kind of sequence here? The plot twist, the Skrulls actually being refugees, with this particular set of Skrulls being refugees instead of the bad guys as they are normally depicted in the comic books. The twist of how she got her powers, the big accident, all that stuff. What did you guys think of that reveal?
The plot twist to me was when I really got hooked into the movie.
Me too. Yep.
Yeah,
I, like,
same.
bumped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alan was probably like, well, yeah, obviously, looking around the movie theater like,
No, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what the twist was. I just was like, I knew Jude Law was going to be some kind of like,
Okay.
Sure you
like
did.
he was going to change sides, and like it was
Yeah.
going to be some kind of twist. I actually didn't expect this. So
okay. I did think that this part was very, very cool, and I liked the twist a lot. I liked the whole refugee thing, and I liked how her flashbacks kind of changed, and instead of a Skrull kind of like walking towards she and Lawson,
Yeah.
it became Jude Law's character.
Right.
And I thought that was very cool because, I mean, it's true. Like your memory kind of changes and stuff like that. And I just thought it was really, really crazy. Really,
Or
good
he
twist
might have
on
like implanted a memory in her or something
yeah,
and
that's
changed
true.
it.
That's
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
that part was very cool. I was pretty happy with that. What do you think, Alan?
yeah, I thought it was a very interesting part. Definitely where the movie picked up. I did think it was kind of weird that like she shot the engine, and then all of a sudden she couldn't remember anything. It like didn't quite make a ton of sense to me. But I was like, okay, whatever. I guess this energy or whatever made her lose her memory for some reason.
Yeah, or maybe as part of the rebuilding process, when the Kree took her over, they wiped her memory or tried to wipe as much of the memory away as they could.
Oh, so maybe like when they took her
Yeah,
after the blast, they like did something with her head.
yeah,
That makes a little more
the
sense.
Supreme Intelligence went to work on her or something. Or
Oh yeah.
that could be it too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, speaking of that explosion of how she got her powers, I don't know how it happens in the comics, but I thought that was a little like, really, like,
Yeah.
you get she gets an explosion and then it's just like, oh, I choose you, you're gonna have powers, but everyone else gets vaporized. Like, really? Okay.
I mean, Spider-Man got his from a radioactive spider. There's
Yeah,
some more
but the
ridiculous things. But
Yeah, but the explanation there is they were scientifically experimenting on spiders, and it, it's not like he got hit by a giant explosion that would kill everyone, and it just
yeah, but it's radioactive spiders. They're gonna kill you if they bite you. You're not gonna turn into like a spider. Anyway.
You're right. Listen. You're right. You're completely right. It's all made up comic book stuff. I shouldn't give this I shouldn't think too much about this, but they go out of their way for some characters to explain their powers and how they get them, and they don't on others, and it's just a little, I don't know.
No, I understand.
One part that I thought was a big pacing issue for me was when she did reunite with her friend, and her friend gives her that nice big speech about like how hard it was while she was away. I really wish in the beginning of the movie they would have showed the accident from just Carol's perspective without knowing all the other stuff, like half the story, then catch us up to speed with the Kree stuff, and then give us the full story later on, because that way you can set up her relationship with her friend, and that way by the time you get in the middle of the movie and it's like a big reunion, it actually means something to me. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, oh, we have this character, now she has a friend who's crying her eyes out because she's back, and it doesn't really mean much to the audience because we never got that relationship off the beginning, so we had nothing to bring with us. So that was kind of one of the things I didn't really like about it, was that structure of the movie.
Yeah, I think that's where I fell asleep, so that makes sense. I didn't really miss much there.
Yeah. Then we get the so then, like I said, Talos kind of bargains with them. We find out they're refugees. And there's some great scenes with Talos there when they're sitting at the table and they're talking and they're hanging out. And there's the one throwaway thing where he's like, put it where the sun don't shine, or he says something about shoving something up his butt and he didn't get it because he was an alien. That part was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's the part where he's like, okay, am I supposed to guess?
Yes,
where that's going to
exactly.
be?
Yeah.
He's like, it's a figure of speech, and he's like, oh, okay, what is it? I don't know.
Same thing when he plays off with his science guy too. Remember, he like looks over at his science guy. He's like, we couldn't figure that out.
Oh, that's right. the coordinates. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a vector positioning.
Yeah.
You couldn't figure this out.
Yeah. So then eventually the Kree warriors catch up to Captain Marvel on Earth. We realize that the whole engine was run off essentially the Tesseract, which is a throwback to Captain America 1, Avengers 1, a little bit of Thor in there. So again, we have another Infinity Stone kind of in the mix. And this is why I think I might be able to give how she got her powers a little bit of slack, because if the Tesseract was involved, then it's an Infinity Stone. Maybe it had. I mean, it gave Scarlet Witch her powers in Age of Ultron. So, or the Loki's staff did anyway. So there's a little bit of a precedence there of the Infinity Stones being able to grant certain people powers in a certain way. So I will forgive that for the most part. But so we get the Tesseract. We get so that now they start their final mission. So we get Nick Fury hanging out with the cat. We find out that the cat is a Flurgan, I think they called it, and that's why all the Skrulls are really scared of it. What'd you guys think about the whole goose situation here?
I thought it was funny, like, that they were scanning it with the threat detector thing, and it's just like, Flurgan, high threat, and you're just like, wait, what? And then it's like human or whatever, it's like low threat, and he's just like, wait, what the, like, how is this cat more scarier than me? And it's supposed to be like a funny moment, and then you're like, oh wait, shit, no, this thing is like literally horrifying. That's kind of cool.
I don't understand that part. Does the cat, he has the Tesseract, right?
Yeah.
Well, he eats it, like in the middle there.
So, I just didn't understand that part at all. Is he not a cat? Or all cats Flurgans?
I think he was just a Flurgan in disguise, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or Flurgans look like cats, and on another planet they're deadly beasts, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting
to
me. I was kind of just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, and I think they played up.
Are you not a Flurgan fan, Matt?
I don't really like cats, so I guess I don't like Flurgans.
Thank you.
I'm the only one on this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Alan.
Thought you'd have my back on that. Okay.
You thought I would like cats?
They might have.
Yeah. What's wrong with cats, dude?
I don't know. I don't know why I hate them. Anti-pet mode. Anyway, I'm sorry.
They might have played up that bit a little too much too. I think like, here, kitty, do your thing, kind of, all that stuff. Okay, so then she finally realizes her true powers. She goes balls out. They start attacking Earth, and they kind of go balls out. So what'd you guys think once we get a fully unleashed Captain Marvel? What'd you think of how her powers looked, all that? Was there enough character arc by the time you got to the end of it for her that you're like, all right, cool, this is awesome?
Dude, yeah, yes. When she was like full power and she like takes the thing off her neck, I was like, oh damn, like it was sweet.
Yeah,
I thought it was very cool. Her hair is like floating.
Yeah.
So she's just like glowing. I just thought it was awesome, like Superman level stuff. So thought it was very cool.
Yeah, I thought the powers were great. I thought everything she did was really cool and just neat. I did feel like they kind of tried to shove down the the feminist kind of like motif that they were going with, like really shove it down your throat a bit, which was kind of like annoying. Like there's a whole part at the end where she's fighting Jude Law and he's like, prove to me that you can take me on with no powers, and she like shoots him and she's like, I don't have to prove anything to you, and like walks off all confidently and shit, and you're like, okay, was that really necessary? Like just shoot him and like be like, that's what's up.
There were a couple points in the movie I thought that was a little overdone. The one military pilot saying, you know why they call it a cockpit, right? And that part, and they played No Doubt's Just a Girl in the fight scene.
Oh yeah, and she's doing the push-up like as it comes on, like No Doubt does like in her concerts.
It was just a little over heavy-handed, I thought.
Yeah,
just a little bit, and but like you guys, I think it was awesome. I think her powers are really cool. Do you guys feel like she might be a little too OP for an Avenger?
No. They need all the help they can get.
No, I agree.
They have a demigod, dude.
Yeah, no. So I'm just trying to compare her to the other heroes. And
a demigod.
But is she just gonna come in and be like flick her wrist and then like Thanos is like dusted, or is she gonna?
No, dude, he took out a demigod.
That's what I'm asking you guys. I'm asking you guys, how are we supposed to gauge her power, like how powerful she is? She's obviously one of the more powerful characters in the universe right now, but looking forward to Avengers Endgame, where do we fit her in? Is she like Thor level kind of thing, or is she more powerful than Thor? I don't know. I was just kind of throwing it out there as a talking point.
I think Thor level.
I think
I would say
Thor level.
Below?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought the way they portrayed her at the end, at least, was maybe a little more powerful than Thor.
Really? Because she seems like she's like a immortal almost, and like Thor, I've always kind of seen as like basically immortal.
Immortal?
But I guess Loki dies and stuff, so
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll find out in Endgame, I guess. Here
we should make them fight each other on that website that we use forever.
Yes, we should double check that. Okay, so then we got the post-credit scenes.
Oh yeah.
So well, first off, at the end of the movie, we'll wrap up the actual movie first. At the end of the movie, she says she's got to leave Earth. She's got to go help the Skrulls find a home, on top of take care of some other things. Kind of get her in the mix between the Kree and Skrull war. So she goes off, which gives us the explanation of why she's not in any of the other movies. And then we get the first post-credit scene where we see the beeper, we see the pager, and the beeper stops, and guess who shows up in present day with the other Avengers? So what you guys think of the end of the movie, about where it ends, and also the post-credit scene?
I thought the ending was cool, pretty fitting. Like, not as I don't know. I guess that was a little bit more predictable. The ending, like, oh, we're gonna go search around and like help fight everything and stuff like that. Like, makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
But the post credits I thought was very cool. I mean, it wasn't like it was just like exciting. It wasn't like any like you don't learn new information. I guess
Right. It's just set up for Endgame. Yeah.
Definitely very exciting.
Well, no, you do. You learn new information because you didn't know if Captain Marvel was going to show up or if she was even alive still.
I guess.
No, you had like there was so much put on that beeper at the end of the movie when Nick Fury turned it on.
Yeah.
Like, if that had just fizzled out into nothing, they would have been like, "What the f?" There was so much placed on that one moment. I feel like it was everyone knew. Like you had to know. Alan, you knew Jude Law was going to be a bad guy, and you didn't know Captain Marvel was going to be coming back for that.
Right.
No, I assumed, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen. Like it was nice to like get some definite like, yeah, she's going to be in it and she's going to kick some ass.
I guess then technically that is secured like information that like, yeah, she's officially here. She's officially going to come kick ass. But like, aside from that, I guess I didn't think it like taught, or I guess I didn't really think it showed anything new. I was just like really pumped up. I was just like, yeah, like hell yeah, she's here. So
I'm just saying, like, she could have very well just turned into dust at the end of the movie, like in the post scene credits, you know.
She had
that would have been a twist on a twist if she shows up and then she's just like, "What's happening?" and then she like disappears. Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be some shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So getting into the post credits scene,
which was a waste of time. I'm pissed I even stayed that long.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, is that not what you're alluding to? Where she turns into dust? I'm joking.
No,
that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I didn't even. Was there a post credit scene?
There was. If you stuck all the way after the credits, there's a scene. It was the cat. It's the goose on Nick Fury's desk, and it throws up the Tesseract essentially, and then that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, let's take a step back. Going back to Nick Fury, how did you think of, or what did you think about how they decided to make him lose his eye? Because I'll start off my opinion right off the bat. I thought it was dumb.
I thought it was great. I thought it made a lot of sense.
No, it did not make. Listen,
seems pretty accurate.
Yeah. If you go back to Winter Soldier, they make a big deal about, he shows Captain America his eye, and he goes, "Last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye," and he made this big thing about it. And now to see how it actually happened, I didn't really. I don't know. I thought it was kind of lame. Now, I understand where they're going by making him kind of like hype up the tale of how it happened a little bit and kind of exaggerate it and make the story grow. But I think ultimately it didn't really work for me that much. I do have an explanation of such things, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So, but what did you guys think overall of Nick Fury?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was fine. He did trust Goose, and then Goose betrayed him.
I guess, but
it was obviously the biggest upset.
What?
I think it would have been cooler if maybe like the whole movie somebody was a Skrull, and then like right at the end we find out they're a Skrull, and then they stab him or something, and like ultimate betrayal kind of thing.
Yeah, that would have been way cooler.
That would have been cooler, yeah.
Or like he trips and falls and like hits the corner of a desk or something.
Oh, that's violent.
His eyeball like smashes. As I'm saying it out loud, I wish I could redact that statement.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alan?
I mean, I thought it was funny, but it was definitely like kind of dumb and not exactly what I was expecting. I think I had heard going into the movie that like it was kind of ridiculous how he lost it, but I didn't realize it was that ridiculous. Like literally a cat scratching him, and that was it. So
now I'm gonna run a theory by you guys that's been floating around the internet for a little bit here. So we know that there's this Kree and Skrull war, and it's very much alluded to in the film that there's people on both sides who are both good and bad of this war, and that the group of Kree, or the Skrulls that we met and the group of Kree that we met in this movie were on opposite sides. One was, the Skrulls were more or less good people just trying to escape. The Kree were fascist dicks who were trying to kill everything. But we do know that there are some Skrulls who, I mean, Talos says it himself, his hands aren't clean. He's done some nasty shit in this war. And there is a storyline in the comics where it's called the Skrull invasion, secret invasion, I think. In which case we find out that certain heroes this whole time have been actually a Skrull in disguise, and that the real heroes are kidnapped somewhere and they got to go rescue them. The internet has been kind of showing this clip from way back in Avengers: Age of Ultron of Nick Fury cutting his toast diagonally, and one of the things he said in Captain Marvel was he doesn't like his toast cut diagonally. He can't eat it. So people are saying, is post Captain Marvel Nick Fury in all the Avengers movies actually a Skrull in disguise? And that's why his attitude is different. That's why his mannerisms are a little like more serious in the later films. Like, could this be a crazy plot twist for way down the line, setting up that secret invasion storyline?
Shit!
Wait, how could the Skrulls?
Because of the toast, man.
No, I know that, but how could they shapeshift someone and have their powers too? Have superpowers? I guess shapeshifting in itself is a superpower, but
wait, does Nick Fury have superpowers?
No, he doesn't.
No,
but
I mean like the other ones.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that part of the storyline. I should look that up. But my guess is they somehow fake it or something. But yeah, I mean, that is a real possibility. That is a real storyline that they could do further down the road. So,
I think that's too far fetched personally, but I love stuff like that. I would love for that to be true.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be sweet going through like all the Marvel movies and realize like that's not the real Nick Fury, and then that'd be kind of.
I think that's on playing with like Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord, so might be a little too far fetched for them to throw in there.
Too. Yeah, but the toast situation is funny.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny that somebody caught that.
Yeah. So there we go. So looking forward to Avengers Endgame. We just got the trailer today, the new Avengers trailer. It didn't give away too much. It kind of just set things up. It kind of really tugged at your heartstrings and realized that, they're really going for it. Whatever it takes was the hashtag that was going around with it. They said it a bunch of times in the movie, and this is going to be a very Avengers centric movie, in particular Captain America, I think, and Iron Man. So looking forward to Avengers Endgame. How do you think Captain Marvel is going to fit in with everybody? They did show one scene with her and Thor in the trailer, so she is in the new Avengers trailer. What do you guys looking for an Avengers Endgame? Are you, how are you feeling after watching Captain Marvel going into Avengers Endgame? And, what do you hope to see from there?
I just don't know, like, what they could do. Even knowing how powerful Captain Marvel is and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I just don't know what they could do. Like watching Thanos have the all the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like what could happen. I said it once and I'll say it again. God, I forgot his character. Star-Lord?
Star-Lord, yeah. Chris
World
Pratt.
War 10.
World War yeah.
That's where I thought that's where you were going.
Oh no, I think I'm leaving that behind. But I think Star-Lord really screwed them over when they were about to slip the glove off of him.
Yeah.
And he got all jealous and stupid. But
Yeah.
quit hating on World War 10, okay? It's good.
I'm sorry.
That was
cracks me up to this day.
fantastic. Everyone, go back and listen to our
World War 10.
Avengers Infinity War spoiler review. Then you'll understand what we're talking about. But
It'll be so significant. It
Yeah.
will take over the names of the next 7 World Wars.
Alan, what are you looking forward to most in Avengers Endgame here? Are you getting amped? I mean, it's only a month away. It comes out, in just about a month, I'm pretty sure. So we're closing in here, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm excited, and I think Captain Marvel is going to fit in really well with this group that's left, because I feel like they're the more serious characters. We lost Star-Lord, we lost Spider-Man, even Doctor Strange kind of was a little bit quirky. We have like the serious characters. Iron Man is like, when he's serious, he's serious. Captain America is very serious.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a very, very intense movie, and I'm really excited about that because I want it to be very intense, and I want it to be very dark and scary. So.
Yeah, me too. And I have a feeling, just relating it back to Captain Marvel, is I think I'm going to like Captain Marvel more in Avengers Endgame than I will like her in her own movie, which I think has happened a lot. I know a lot of my other friends say they didn't really care for the Doctor Strange movie, but they loved him in Infinity War, and just for some reason. And I think Captain Marvel might be that character. I was very mediocre. I was very like ho-hum on her individual movie, but I might love her when she's in the mix with the Avengers, and see how she plays it out there. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm super excited.
Cool.
Okay, so let's wrap it up here. Let's give our quick closing statements in a rating out of 5 bottles of mead, and then we'll pack it in here, guys. Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Alan, why don't you start us off here?
So overall, I thought this was a very enjoyable movie to go and watch. I don't feel like I wasted my time going to see in the theaters, and there were some really good storylines, and it started off kind of slow for me, but definitely got better as it went on. I enjoyed all the character dialogue, and I enjoyed the twists in the movie, and the Skrulls were just really fun to watch and see their powers. The ending was just cool with all the fight scenes, and I give this one a solid 3.5 out of 5.
Nice.
That is interesting that I feel like you said a lot of positive things and then gave it a 3.5, because I feel like the way I would also give it a 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But when I would describe it, I would say I felt like it was pretty okay. The twist was really good. Characters were okay. Nothing, I didn't think anything like super memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't watch this movie again. But I agree, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. So I feel like the way I'm explaining it is a little bit more neutral, kind of. Like, to me, a 3.5 is kind of like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Until the twist, I was at like a 3
Yeah.
or like a 2.5, though. I was kind of like, this isn't that great. And then the twist came, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at 3.5 too, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm right with you guys. I thought this was a decent Marvel movie. This wasn't a great Marvel movie. There were some things I did not like about this movie, and there was a couple things I really enjoyed about the movie, but otherwise I thought it was kind of more of the forgettable Marvel movies, and really just a holdover until, kind of a catch-up movie until Avengers Endgame. So I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 5 for me, so just a touch lower than you guys, but I mean, yeah, I think we pretty much nailed it. So good. Nice. All right, guys. Nice. So I guess we'll see you guys back for our normal episodes, and then looking forward to Avengers Endgame.
Whew.
Let's do it. Also, one last thing too, by the way. When you go watch the Avengers theme, do you guys get some Lord of the Rings vibes off the Avengers themes?
Like the music?
The music, yeah. Yeah, just going back to that Avengers trailer, listen to the Avengers theme, and you get a little bit of that Fellowship of the Ring kind of vibe to it. I always like meld the two in my brain. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. We'll talk about that next time. All right, guys. Good episode here. This has been an episode of the Torrent Podcast. We'll see you next time. Well, that's it for this episode of The Torrent. Thank you all for listening. Download, rate, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast service. If you want to get in contact with us, feel free to send us an email, thetorrentpodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter @TheTorrentPod. We'll see you guys next time.